And here are the players in the London Chess Classic, the third leg of the Grand Chess Tour. Magnus Carlsen from Norway, current world champion, arguably one of the best players that ever lived. Fabiano Caruana from the United States, top grandmaster in the world. If you remember, Fabiano just ran through the competition in the Singfield Cup. My buddy from the United States as well, Carl Nakamura. Great player. Carl is just an amazing player. I'm a little biased because I like a Carl, but I'll tell you, he's going to be playing in the candidates final in March. We'll see. And Veselin Topalov from Bulgaria, former world champion. It's funny, they wrote off the old guys like Kramnik and Topalov, and here they are back on top again. I believe Topalov is now number 2 in the world. Alexander Grishuk from Russia, very underrated player. Alex is always in the top in the world. If you just can control his time trouble addiction, I think Alex can go a long ways. And of course, former world champion from India, Viswanathan, I believe 6-time world champion. He was counted out when he lost to Magnus Carlsen, and then he won the candidates final to play Carlsen again. He did lose that rematch, but it's no slouch to win the candidates final after losing the world championship, but he did it. Great player. Anis Giri from the Netherlands, top world-class player. Anis is pretty young. I don't even think Anis is 22 years old yet. He's one of the world-class players. Levin Aronian from Armenia, top world-class players. I think, frankly, one of the people that are playing right now is some of the strongest in the world that never played for the World Championship, and that's Levin Aronian. Really nice guy, classy guy, too. And Michael Adams from England. I like Mickey a lot. He's an interesting guy. He's really intense when he's playing, but if you see him in interviews, he's the calmest, most collected guy there is. Great player from England. And Maxime Vachier-Lagrave from France, MVL as they call him, another world-class player. Maxime was having a hard time for about a year or so, lost some rating points, but he's on the way back. Look out for Maxime, because I'll tell you, he's one of the top statisticians in the game. Anyway, folks, there's the lineup for London Chess Classic, the last leg of the Grand Chess Tour. Hi, folks, John Cordisco back again. Round 3 of the 7th Annual London Chess Classic 2015. Oh, great tournament. The third leg of the Grand Chess Tour. The first leg was Norway Chess. The second leg was Singfield Cup here in St. Louis in the United States. And the third leg is the London Chess Classic in London, England. Great world-class players. I believe the top 8 out of the top 10 in the world are here. Anyway, this game here is between someone that's had a tough year, but he's on a comeback. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, MVL from France, is white. And former world champion from Bulgaria, Veselin Topalov, as black. Seen a lot of Berlins in this tournament, but this one isn't, luckily. It's a Sicilian Nadorf, pretty much Toplin's weapon of choice for black against d4 forever. Knight takes, knight f6, knight c3, a6, that makes it the Nadorf. h3, I'm not going to go in a lot of opening detail here. e5. I like that move. It controls the center, chases the knight off, but it makes the d-pawn backwards, but Nadorf players are just used to that. Knight comes back. That's the last book move according to the computer. h5. You see that quite a bit, especially in Sicilians. Trying to grab some space. It's tough to determine if black's going to castle on the king side still. We'll see. g3. Knight b to d7. Bishop up. b5. Typical Sicilians start pushing the queenside pawns. Knight d5. Pretty much an even game. I think white's got I think he's got pretty good space, even though black's pawns are pushed up. Knight takes. Queen takes. Much better move. forcing the rook to move because she really can't protect it. How are you going to protect it? She forces the rook to move. Bishop e3. Okay. Here we are. Backward d-pawn for black. And look at black's pieces. Pretty backed up. Both the bishops are on their original squares. The king's still in the center of the board. But it only shows a tiny advantage on the computer for white. There's not much danger here for black. His king's in pretty good shape, protection-wise. Bishop e7. He's getting ready to castle now anyway. Queen to d2. Knight f6. Looking a little more normal for black here. Both castles. Interesting move here. This must be a move that the player, his preference. a3, bishop a7, king to h2. Interesting move there. That move is I'm a little stumped by, but it's MVL, and he also is an expert in Sicilian, Nadorf. But he's an expert on the black end, so he knows how to play against it as well. It's kind of weird when you play against your own pet opening. Bishop, knight c3, rook c8. Okay, rook's moved a couple of times, but still no harm. Dead even on the computer. a4, open it up a little bit. b4, knight has to move. Knight takes, pawn takes. Okay, here we are. Double bishops, double rooks. Queen ending. Pretty complicated. A lot less complicated than knights, though, I think. a5, just to shore up his b4 pawn. Queen to e2. That's also the computer's choice, and that one stumps me a little bit. Maybe the queen is trying to get in to position here. Bishop g5, bishop takes, queen takes, h4. Pretty much chases the queen off. White's king position is fine, so is black's. Queen goes to f6. Queen to b5. Queen comes back. Queen takes. Rook takes. Rook over. Rook takes, rook to b1. Okay. Rook moves again. Queen takes the pawn. Now, tiny advantage for black here, but white's got that a-pawn. Let's see what he does with it. Bishop a6, heading the rook. But the rook doesn't move. Now Maxime decides to threaten the rook instead. And it's a weird trade here. Bishop takes, queen takes, bishop takes, king takes. They traded rooks and bishops just in an odd way. So here we are in a queen rook, pawn ending. White's got a passed a pawn. And it's black's job, of course, just to basically stymie the pawn. You're never going to be able to get the white king all the way over to help because of the massive checks you'll get from the rook and the queen. So this looks fairly drawable. We'll see what happens. Rook a8. a5, just get that pawn down. e4. Black's trying to push his pawn here, hoping he'll take, and the queen can get in for some counterplay. Rook b3, just to stop that. f5. And this is where I think Maxime miscues. Right now, it's a 2 1/4 advantage for white. Fairly decent advantage. a6 is the computer's choice. Went queen to d2, and right down it went to less than a point advantage now. He blew almost a 2 points in advantage just with that move. It's complicated. There's rooks and queens on the board. You know, and all the different angles and geometry of the queens is tough. Probably should have went a6. Then after f4, rook to b7. And I think white sits fairly comfortably. After queen to d2, queen comes over. Queen, rook takes, he gives up the pawn, but rook to b7. Now, looks like black is doomed, right? How can he possibly get out of this? But he can. Rook to a2. Now, if rook takes queen, white decides to move the queen. Now it's not hitting the g7 pawn anymore for mate. Give you an idea if they had traded. Rook c6, e3, not nearly as good for white. After queen to b5, it's not lost, but it's pretty close. Black's in a really tough spot. Topalov was getting low on time. Queen to c1 is probably a reasonable move here. It's not overwhelming according to the computer. But he decides just to take the pawn. He was getting low on time. He was just throwing it. I mean, what else is he going to do here, honestly? If he takes, we'll say rook a2, we want queen to b5. Takes, rook. We went through this. I think he's okay. I don't know what the problem was here. Maybe he just thought it was dead lost. Maybe he saw some combinations with the white queen coming in here, coming up, queen, and with the rook coming across, he saw the mate threats. I don't know. He decided just to take the pawn. Queen checks. Rook comes down. Sealed his doom. He just basically gave up. And I'm surprised he didn't play out a few more moves before taking that rook or the pawn on f2. But Topalov, not doing too well. He actually, before the tournament started, was in first place in the standings. It's a 3 tournaments in the Grand Chess Tour. Whoever gets the most points at the end gets quite a bit of extra money. And right now, Topalov was in first place. And right now, he's only got 1 draw and 2 losses. He's -2 for 3 games. So tough break for Veselin. Good win by MVL there. Looks like it was going to be a draw. Anyway, folks, I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.